time for the opening face-off for today's game. Nieuwendyk wins the face-off. Crushed. That's going to leave a mark. And that's icing. Hey, Craig, maybe he'll get the next call by having a word with the official now. This is what he's steamed about. Let's have a look at the reason for his argument. The action's about to start. Toronto wins. He scores, and it's 1-0.
There's nothing as lethal as a quick and accurate wrist shot.
The goalie will be seeing that one in his nightmares. Toronto is off to a terrific start.
If you can get a quick goal, you know the opposition's net is open for business.
Passed ahead. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets roughed up by Roberts. Shoots it hard. In front. Leveled.
What a hit!
Nolan brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Flattened.
He got slammed into on that one.
Over the line. Hunter shoots it quickly. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Nolan cranks it. Saved by DiPietro. Hunter in over the line. Pushed. The ref indicates a delayed call against Toronto. Koliakovo will get the gate for hooking. New York will try and take advantage of a penalty here.
Well, we haven't seen the power play yet tonight, but we know they're going to be a handful.
They've got great skill in that first unit. Into the attacking zone. He gets checked by Hammerling.
Jim, that's old-time hockey.
Played over. Over the line. He gets taken out by McCabe.
That was intimidation.
Over the blue line. He gets shoved by Janssen. Right in front. In front. Brilliant save by DiPietro.
Jim, he cannot believe his eyes. He had that one already up on the scoreboard, only to find the goalie to make a great save.
They're getting ready for the face-off. Face-off won by Francis. Quick pass up. Brings it out. In over the line. Out of their defensive end. Moved ahead. Over center. Into the attacking zone. He gets bowled over by McCabe. The Islanders go offside. The ref is signaling for the faceoff. And the faceoff is won by Francis. Shove over the line. Brings it out. Over the blue line.
Hit. Lots of contact there.
Brings it out. In over the line. He gets muscled off the puck. Out of their defensive end. Coast to coast. Hammerling. Hunter fires it hard. In the corner. Right in front. In front. Belfour turned the shot aside. Brings it out. Over the line. Clee gets bumped off the puck. New York is 0 for 1 with the man advantage as the penalty expires. In over the line. Shove. Right in front. Great save. Out of their defensive end. Shove. Over the blue line. Checked.
A big, clean hit.
Brings it out. Over the line. McCabe pushes him.
That's real action.
Brings it out. New York puts its third line out. Slap shot ripped by Koliakovo. Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Nieuwendyk. Over. Bowled over. Nice hit.
Hit. That one rattled his cage.
Played up. Muscled off the puck. Over the blue line. Wrist shot by Roberts. Misses. Into the attacking zone. Run over.
Lined him up and knocked him down.
Toronto puts its third line out. One times it. Blocked. Brings it out. Over the line. Karahowski gives him the rough stuff. Moved ahead. Brings it out. In over the line. Goes behind his net. Blake controls the puck. Over the blue line. Shoots! Belfour turned it away. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Knocked him off the puck. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets rocked by Berahowski. One times it. In over the line. He gets laid out by Johnson. Over the blue line. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. DiPietro made the save. Over the line. Flattened.
You can't hit much harder than that.
In over the line. Right in front. A shot from the slot by Mugilny. DiPietro gets his stick on it. New York puts its checking line out. Shoots the puck. In behind. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. It's played over by Mugilny. The Maple Leafs will make a change here. Over the line. Belfour makes the save. Up through center. In over the line. Rocked.
No shortage of physical play here.
Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Checked.
That was a huge check.
Brings it out. Over the line. He gets out-muscled by Martinez. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Klee hits him.
Real power there.
In over the line. DiPietro reached out for the puck. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Belfour denies him. Brings it out. Flattened.
No ducking that one.
Run over.
That was a heavy hit.
Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Blake with a wrist shot. Delayed penalty coming up for New York. Out of their defensive end. End to end. Passed over. Shove. Pekka gets called for hooking. Toronto is about to go on the power play for the first time in this game.
Jim, they've got some good finishers in their lineup, but they like to keep it simple. Point shots with lots of traffic in front.
Brings it out. In over the line. What scores? Shorthanded, they score!
What a rocket he let loose on that shot.
That was absolutely unleashed on net, and it found the target. Toronto has their work cut out for them.
The key here is timing. Allowing a goal this close to the end of the period can really swing the momentum.
Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Bumped by Leach. In front. Denied by Belfour. Pad save. Over the blue line. Leach shoots the puck. Roberts grabbed it. Stoned cold by DiPietro. Hit.
That was a great check.
Shoots it hard. Right in front. Leg save. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets worked over by Nieuwendyk. Delayed call coming up. Johnson. Slap shot. Blocked by McCabe. Nieuwendyk will serve time for interference.
Interference can be tricky. You can't call everything, but you want the game to have some flow.
And you can see the coach is having a word with the official about that last call. The faceoff goes to Toronto. He gets shoved by Yashin. Across. Out of their defensive end. Pekka leaves the box and turns the play from a 4-on-4 into a power play. Francis scores! It trickled in!
And they put one in while down a skater. That was a sweet goal.
You gotta have lady luck on your side sometimes, and they sure did on that play. Some quick work to regain the lead before the break.
That'll give their opponents something to think about in the dressing room.
A Maple Leaf face-off win. Played over. He gets run over by Kavasha. In over the line. Hunter. A shot from the slot by Kavasha. Saved by Belfour. Into the attacking zone. With a wrist shot. DiPietro made the save. Brings it out. Taken out.
Now that's physical play.
Quick puck movement. Over the blue line. Hunter corrals the puck. Over the line. Right in front. Kavasha shoots the puck into the crowd. It didn't take this guy too many tries to put one in the back of the net.
Well, if you want to be valuable to your team's offense, you've got to focus on getting your shot off quickly and as often as you can.
Face-off won by Francis. Nieuwendyk has served his penalty, and that puts his team back on even footing. In over the line. Shove. One times it. Scramble for the puck. Out of their defensive end. Coast to coast. Checked.
That's what you call a big-time hit.
Over the blue line. He gets out-muscled. The horn signals the end of the first. 2-1 the score. The fans are returning to their seats, and they're hoping for more of the same in the second period. They're getting ready for the face-off. The face-off goes to the Maple Leafs. Nieuwendyk gets thrashed. He gets laid out. In front. Blake with a weak shot. Belfour covers up for the whistle.
Holy cow, he got his bell rung on that one. That was a big hit.
The ref is ready to drop the puck. The faceoff goes to the Maple Leafs. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets rocked by a coin. Nieuwendyk, quick shot. DiPietro gets some wood on it. Brings it out. Over the line. Shove. Moved across. Right in front. Belfour made the brilliant save. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Run over.
Full contact.
Moved ahead. Brings it out. In over the line. Brings it out. He gets hit by Blake. Over the line. Nolan. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Turned aside by Belfour. Nolan brings it out. Over the blue line. Knocked over.
Great hustle and a great hit.
Wrist shot. He misses. Quick puck movement. Brings it out. Over the line. Flash. There's going to be a penalty. Berahowski will go to the box for interference.
Now he's got 2 minutes to think about what he did.
New York will go on the power play once again. They weren't able to capitalize on their first power play. Let's see if they can do it here. Parrish shoots quickly. Saved by Belfour. Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Hit. Francis. Shot blocked by Yashin. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Cannonading drive. Belfour shut the door. Over. Roberts brings it out. Over the line. Shoots! DiPietro reached out for the puck. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. He gets hit by Francis.
Sent him sprawling.
In over the line. Blake gets smoked. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Hard wrist shot by Roberts. Across. Brings it out. Over the line. Shoots it. Kavasha. He gets pushed off the puck. McCabe grabbed it. Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Checked. Moved across. Goaltender stopped that. The Maple Leafs come in offside. The Maple Leafs are showing they know how to put the puck in the net.
They're a fast, talented team that can score. If you try to trade chances with them, they'll beat you.
The players are lining up at the face-off circle. Francis won the draw. Rubbed off the puck.
That was a tough hit.
Pekka fires it. Belfort reached out for the puck. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Bowled over. New York continues to struggle on the power play. They're now 0 for 3. Over the blue line. Cranked him. Pekka fires. Belfort covers up. We're ready for the face-off. And the face-off is won by Nieuwendyk. Shove.
He's taken out of the play.
Over the line. Delayed penalty coming up. Belfort with a stick save. Nieuwendyk is going to the box for interference.
That gets him 2 minutes in the box, Huey.
You can see that the coach isn't very happy about this call at all. New York hasn't had any luck on the power play so far in this game, but they'll get a fourth chance here.
Well, they just need a few bounces to go their way. If they stick with it, the goals will come.
Out of their defensive end. In over the line. Rubbed off the puck by Roberts. Johnson gets the shot off. Around the back. Right in front. Oop, post. Belfort hangs on for the whistle. The puck is about to be dropped. Francis wins the faceoff. Bowled over.
Jim, that one had to hurt.
Checked.
Shook him up and took him down.
Pad save. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. He gets taken out by Hunter. Kavasha. Over the blue line. With a wrist shot.
Poor decision there.
Halfway through this man advantage, and they're certainly getting their fair share of shots on goal.
Well, the chance.
Oh, there's a shot. DiPietro reached out for the puck. Brings it out. In over the line. Moved over. Over the dope. Hunter scores! It just crossed the line, but it counts. There was plenty of power in that power play.
They utilized the advantage nicely and banged it home.
They still have half a game to regain the lead.
But they'll be fighting momentum to do it.
Face-off won by Nieuwendyk. Shove.
That was an intimidating blow.
Out of their defensive end. Over the line. He gets rocked.
Knocked him right off the play.
Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Played up. Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets bowled over by Berehowski. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Shove. Roberts in front. Nolan scores!
You let go of the wrist shot, and it paid off handsomely with that goal.
That's right. You don't always have to wind up with a big slapper to get it past the keeper. Game half over now, trailing by a goal. The pressure is rising.
This is when you've got one eye on the puck and one eye on the clock.
In the corner, Hamilton controls the puck. Pad saved by Belfort. In over the line. Sent flying. Hard one-timer. Leg saved by DiPietro. He hangs on. He'll breathe a little easier now that he's on the score sheet with that one assist.
Well, maybe that'll loosen him up a bit. Sometimes that little bit extra confidence is all you need.
About to drop the puck. And the faceoff is won by Francis. Blake corrals the puck. Into the attacking zone. Belfour turned it away. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets run over by Hunter. Over the blue line. 18,000 referees in the stands call a penalty. The two that count will not. He gets shoved. Hard one-time shot by Renberg. This guy's already made a contribution on the scoreboard, and you can see he's playing with a lot more confidence now.
Now that he's got the one goal, look for him to test the goalie from everywhere.
The players are lined up and ready for the faceoff. Faceoff won by Nieuwendyk. Shoved. Hard shot. Saved by DiPietro. In over the line. Bumped by Johansson. Quick puck movement. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Hit. Pass to hit. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets shoved by Barahowski. Advances the puck. In all alone. In front. Stoned by DiPietro. It's given up by Nieuwendyk. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets checked by Johansson. Played across. Over center. Over the blue line. Francis shoots the puck. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets hit by Renberg.
Oh, he corked him a good one.
Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. In front. Checked.
He won't forget that one.
Passed across. Brings it out. Over the blue line. McGillney brings it out. In over the line. Pushed. With a wrist shot. Turned away. Scatcherd out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Shove. One-timer. Brings it out. Intercepted in the neutral zone by Hamilton. Shove. Advances the puck. Over the line. Right in front. DiPietro hangs on for the whistle. This guy's ready to break out. You can see it in his game.
I agree with you on this one, Jim. I love his play. He could be a year away from becoming an elite talent.
The action's about to start. Toronto wins the draw. Brings it out. Through center. In over the line. Pumped off the puck. Played over. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Thrashed. Brings it out. Over the line. In front. Shoots it quickly. DiPietro makes the save. Brings it out. Played up. In over the line. Roberts. Into the attacking zone. Shoved. Shoots. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Big hit. Quick pass up. Brings it out. Over the line. Bowled over. Brings it out. In over the line. Laid out. That'll wrap up the second period. 3-2 is the score as we head to the break. The game will be decided in the final 20 minutes as we get set to drop the puck for the start of the third. They're getting ready for the faceoff. And the faceoff is won by Scatcherd. Into the attacking zone. Moved ahead. Out of their defensive end. Tucker controls the puck. Shoots it. He misses. Brings it out. Over the blue line. Niinimaa gets dropped. That hit leveled him. Over the line. Pushed off the puck. Passed ahead. Brings it out. In over the line. Shove. Staying. Into the attacking zone. Sent flying.
He's a tough guy, but that was a hard hit.
DiPietro freezes the puck.
Jim, this is an emotional game, but right now the coach has to be feeling the heat for that missed call.
You can see right here the reason for this argument. They're getting ready for the face-off. Face-off won by Newenden. Rocked!
He took a big hit there.
Over the blue line. Belfort made the save. Brings it out. Over the line. In over the line. He gets taken out by Roberts. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Checked. Pekka out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Hit.
He felt that one.
Advances the puck. Brings it out. In over the line. One-timed by Nolan. Goaltender stopped that. Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Worked over. Passed over. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Big hit. Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets roughed up by Tucker. Brings it out. In over the line. He gets out-muscled by Nienema. Right in front. Stick save. Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Blank. Hard shot.
Not a great shot.
Brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Brings it out. Toronto makes the line change. In over the line. It's moved across by Tchaikovsky. Turned away. Out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Crushed. Brings it out. Knocked down. Up through center. Roberts now has the puck. Played over. Toronto puts its second line out. Rocked. Fine handle. The Islanders are going to make a full change. Klee gives him the rough stuff. Renberg brings it out. Into the attacking zone. Wrist shot. Blocked. Pekka out of their defensive end. Over the blue line. Shoots! Over the line. Saved by DiPietro. Brings it out. Coast to coast. Shot from the wing by Blake. Belfort denies him. Brings it out. In over the line. McGillney gets pushed. Over the blue line. Laid out. It's picked off by Blake. Leveled.
That was a hard check.
He scores, and we're tied at 3.
What a sweet wrist shot right there. He just picked his spot and snapped it home.
Third period, and we're tied.
And that goal sets the stage for a great finish.
And the faceoff is won by Scatcher. Crushed.
Now that was a wake-up call.
Out of their defensive end. Over the line. Newendijk turned aside by DiPietro. Into the attacking zone. He gets leveled by Berehowski.
He slammed him big time.
Brings it out. Over the blue line. Newendijk gets shoved. Moved across. In over the line. Esham gets checked. Brings it out. Over the line. Muscled off the puck. Round the back. Wrist shot by Roberts. Blocked by Martinez. DiPietro hangs on for the whistle. Now you talk about great defensemen in this league, and this guy really makes it all happen at the back end.
Jim, he's like a catalyst out there, consistently feeding forwards with breakout passes. And hey, I say he wouldn't hesitate to jump up in the rush.
A Maple Leaf faceoff win. The coin steals the pass. Played out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Checked. Brings it out. In over the line. Newendijk. It's Played up by Hammerlin. At center. Over the blue line. Rocked. Roberts. Passed over. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Francis shoots the puck. DiPietro reached out for the puck. Brings it out. Over the line. He gets hit by Renberg.
He dropped the hammer on him.
Brings it out. Over the blue line. He gets laid out by Johnson. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Moved over. In front. Great save by Belfour. He covers up. This goaltender's really effective with the puck.
And Jim, that really helps out his defense when the puck gets dumped in. He's like having a third defenseman back there.
Face-off won by Bates. Rubbed off the puck. Moved across. In over the line. Shove. Right in front. Cherkowski brings it out. Over the line. Knocked him off the puck. Goes behind his net. Passed across. Brings it out. In over the line. Rocked. Out of their defensive end. Into the attacking zone. Thrashed.
This is serious.
Martinek. Over the line. He gets run over by Roberts.
Lines him up and sends him down.
Over the blue line. Shoved. Brings it out. Over center. The Islanders are going to make a full change. And out they come with a puck. In over the line. Passed over. Into the attacking zone.
Turn him inside.
He scores to make it 4-3.
A good wrist shot is hard to stop. And that was a good wrist shot.
Under 2 minutes left. Trailing by a goal. There's no room for error here.
There sure isn't, Jim. They need every bounce to go their way.
Toronto sends in the extra attacker.
Jim, it's a gamble. The empty net could mean another goal, and that would ice it.
Ninema is going off for roughing.
Take a look at the replay. Far too much contact that time. Does he deserve the penalty? You bet.
Oh, you can see that the coach doesn't like that call at all, and he's going to have a word with the official. Toronto will get a second chance on the power play here. Belfour is leaving the net.
Jim, they need numbers now. They need offense. There isn't much time to tie this thing up.
Over the line. Empty netter.
That goal will put the icing on the cake in this one. They took their chance, but came up empty this time.
New York appears to have guaranteed victory with that last-minute goal.
They were well on their way, Jim. This gives them that little bit of extra breathing room. He burned him with that move.
He gets checked by a coin.
Great body work so far.
Over the blue line. He gets checked by McCabe. Moved ahead. Brings it out. In over the line. Pushed. Advances the puck. Nieuwendyk rips one. Played back. In front. Thrashed.
That'll rattle your teeth.
Great save by DiPietro. Their offense has been firing on all cylinders, and this guy's been the main reason why.
Well, 4 points to his credit so far, and he's left the defense scrambling to find an answer.
The ref is signaling for the faceoff. Faceoff won by Nieuwendyk. Pass back for the howitzer behind the net. Leveled in behind. Out of their defensive end. End to end. Cranked him. That's it. Toronto loses this game and sees its postseason come to an end. From Uniondale, New York, this is Jim Houston with Craig Simpson.
From all the team here at EA Sports, we'll see you next time.
You